Hi all, good morning. Okay, let us proceed with our class. All right, so in our previous class, we have discussed about few details about the profiles, what type of permissions we are managing on a profile, right? So few of the permissions we have already seen, we have configured, right? So profile is just like a component which holds a set of permissions. Okay, so and what set of permissions? Yes, we have been discussing there are like 16 17 points where we can control the access, give the access to the user based on the profile. Okay, so on a high level, let me say it gives access for the user for applications. Okay, first is system level access, application level access, object level access, record level access, field level access. So these are the hierarchy of the permissions where we are going to decide on or give access to the user on the profile. Okay, so what applications the user can access? So we have seen it clearly how we can grant access to the user for our applications, right? So and also here we have seen something like we can make an application a default for the user, right? So uh, there were two buttons, one is visible, one is default. So based on, okay, so based on the user's profile, we will be uh, restricting the user for viewing certain applications. Okay, so let me go to the Salesforce org. I have pinged you all the assignments in the group chat. I would request you all to complete them at least by today. So I'm working on my custom profile that which I have created. Okay. So we have seen what all the custom applications we can give access. We can make what all custom applications or standard applications which we want to display. We can make them as visible, and one application we can make it as a default. So for my users, I made talent acquisition as the default application, right? And okay, and what tabs to be visible to the user? Yes, we have discussed that. So here, if you see, right, this tabs also we have discussed default off and default on. If the tab is hidden, then the user is in no way going to see that particular tab. Yes, we have discussed that. And okay, then what objects the user can access and what operations the user can perform, we have discussed, right? So here you can see the standard and custom objects. So what objects the user has access and also what operations he can perform, like read, create, edit, delete, all these operations, right? So object level permissions, yes, we can give it using our profile. Okay, so till here we have discussed. So let's move on to the next one, that is the field level. Okay, field level permissions. So here, so we have discussed how an object can, how we can specify a user to access the object and what all operations he can perform, that we have discussed. So let's go ahead with field level. So I would be demonstrating this using an assignment. Okay, we can specify what fields the user can access, configure, so assignment, configure a profile level permissions for team leader user to restrict the visibility of the below fields for the account object. Example, phone, fax, ownership, and annual revenue. So these fields I want to restrict the visibility, right? So let's go. So before I would show you what all the fields are accessible on our team leader profile. Okay, team leader user. So let's go to the team leader user login, and here on the accounts, let's go ahead and check any account. Okay. Okay, I don't want to see the manual sharing account. I would see. Okay, test account, let's say. Okay, here, when we go to the details, okay, we have not given any phone number, right? Let's take an account which is having the phone number. Okay, manual sharing. I give the phone number. So phone number is visible here, right? So in our demo, what we are going to do is we are going to remove the access, restrict the access to view the phone number, phone, fax, ownership, and annual revenue. Okay. So for this manual sharing account, we don't have anything else, but yeah, we have this phone number. So we are going to look into that, right? So let's go to my org again. Yeah, here you can see a section field level security. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restrict the visibility of phone, fax, ownership, and annual revenue from account object for my users on this TL profile. Okay. So which objects all the objects will be displayed here. So which object you want to go? I want to go with account, view, and then here you can see all the field level permissions. Okay. So whether they have read access or edit access, you can see all the permissions. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on edit. So I don't want annual revenue to be visible, and phone, fax. Yeah, fax also I'm removing. Read, edit. Okay. Industry, I guess industries are part. Ownership, annual revenue. Sorry. Phone, fax, ownership, annual revenue. Phone. So we are removing access. Yeah, ownership. Also, we are removing access. Okay. So 4 fields we have remove the access, that is read and edit access. So click on save, and yes, now it will be applicable for the users, right? So let's go ahead and test it. So log in as the team leader user again. Go to accounts, manual sharing account. This had a phone number, right? So if you go to details also, if you see, there is no phone number, there is no annual revenue, there is no fax, and there is no ownership, if you see. So phone number was displayed here and here, right? So it was not there now. So we have restricted field level permissions for this particular profile user. Okay. So this is how we can go ahead and restrict the user through his profile for the uh, permissions on the field level. Okay. So field level also we are doing it. So as I said, system level, then application level, then object level, record level, field level. So these are the main concepts in terms of security in Salesforce. Okay, let's move ahead. So we have configured this, and I would ask you also to do this assignment in your free time. So we can specify what page layouts user can access. So right. So we have been checking on what is a page layout, right? So let's go ahead. So let's go ahead and take an example of our positions object. Okay. So here for the position object, what are all the page layouts I have? By default, it will have its own position layout. Okay. So if you go here on the page layouts, you will see default position layout. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, so for different kinds of users, we can create different page layouts. Okay. So for position object, let's say our company deals with manufacturing also, as well as IT also. Okay. So let's say that. So in that case, in this position page layout, I wanted to create a layout for IT jobs and a different layout for non-IT jobs, right? Because IT jobs will require a passport, and then they may have to travel sometimes. Yeah, but a non-IT job doesn't require this passport and doesn't require travel also sometimes, right? Okay, so that's why I'm going ahead and creating a page layout, two new page layouts, uh, because we need to demo on this part, right? What page layout a user can access, right? So let's create a new page layout. I am cloning the existing one. I'm naming it as IT page layout. So here in the configuration of page layout, you can see if you want, you can change the fields. You can remove the fields, add the fields based on your requirement. So for now, I am not doing anything for IT page layout. For non-IT, I will be removing few of the fields. Okay, so save it. Yes, you can see your page layout and create. So this also I'm cloning from page layout. So I'm creating non-IT page layout, let's say. And here I'm going to remove few fields which are not required for my uh, user. Okay, so let's say I don't want this owner field, remove it. And yeah, I think we haven't customized the basic page layout. So in the IT page layout, we will see, okay, we haven't created multiple fields in it. So there will be a field like travel required, something like that. Those fields we can remove on this particular page layout. Okay. So I just removed the owner field, position name, hiring manager email ID, created by, last modified by. Okay. So mobile and lightning. Let's say I need the email ID of, so I don't want this change record type or printable view, sharing view, all this. So I can remove them. So I just made some changes and let me just save. Okay. So you can go ahead and work on this page layouts in detail. So how we can assign a page layout, we can assign from this page layout assignment as well as through a profile. So now as we are doing the profile demo. Let's go to our profile only. So there we are assigning the page layout. Let's go to my profile. Let's go through the user profile. Right. So here, if you see the page layouts option is here. So I'm going to edit the page layout option for my position object. So let's go. Custom objects. Yeah, here is our custom objects. Position by default, we have position layout, view assignment. We have position layout. So what I'm going to do is edit assignment, right? So here, if you see, by default, a position layout is selected for everything. But if I want to change it to IT page layout, everything gets changed to IT page layout. I can do that, or non-IT page layout I can do, but I don't want to disturb other users, but only for our TL profile, I want to change the page layout. Okay. So for this profile, select that profile, go ahead, put it as IT page layout. Okay. And here you can see IT page layout, right? So only for that profile, I'm just changing, but not for other profiles. Let's click on save. Okay. So yeah. So this is where we can assign the page layouts based on our requirement. So in real-time scenario, it is like something like we create multiple profiles. Let's take our normal example of 10,000 employees. Yeah, 7,000 of them were sales profile, 2,000 were marketing, and 1,000 were service. So I'm creating three different profiles: sales profile, service profile, and marketing profile. So in that also we can, subdivide them. So if it is like field service sales, let's say, so and sales, sorry, sales profile in the office. So two different people. So for them, two different page layouts I can create and assign. Okay. So at the profile level, so I can change that profile page layouts for the users based on our requirement. So for these three different profiles, I'm creating three different page layouts because in sales we have to capture something, but in service it's a different scenario, right? So in service page layout service profile, I will create a page layout which is having the details like a description. Okay, description is needed because so in the service it's like a support where we are going to provide it to the user. So we need to understand the details of what issue is facing. So for that, I would add a field called description on the page layout. So that way I can customize my page layout for that particular profile, right? Okay. So let's go back to our topic. Yep. So page layouts we can change at the profile level. what specific, we can also specify what general and administrative permissions the user can have. We can specify what custom permissions and system permissions the user can have. Okay, so let's go to our profile again. Right, if you see here, see here, you can see something called administrative permissions. Okay, so these are like system level permissions which we can give from the administrator standpoint. Okay, so you can have a look at it, all the details in it, and you all these are the check are the permissions which are given to the user. If you want, we can remove also. And these are objects, custom objects, standard objects. Right. So when we say custom permissions, so there is an option called other apex permission and bulk API hard delete permission. Yeah. Do you remember we were talking about uh, bulk API hard delete permission, if you remember?
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Any questions?
Yeah, we remember it's like data loader, export, and
Yes. So that permission we will have to give it on the profile itself. Okay, if you see custom permissions and system permissions, so there are an options like other apex. Other apex gives a user, permission to create the apex classes. So this has to be checked for a user if he needs to create, if he needs to do some development by creating the apex classes. And bulk API hard delete, yes, it allows the user to perform hard delete operation. So if this permission is ticked in our profile, then only in the data loader, we can perform the bulk API hard delete. So bulk API hard delete means we are deleting the records in bulk and without moving them to the recycle bin. So that will be permanently deleted. Okay. So that also we can give it in our profile. Okay, so let's go. Let me show you where it is. See here, if you see in the administrative permissions, you have an option called other apex. Okay, so if this permission is removed, this particular user will not be able to create apex classes. Even if he is able to create, he cannot compile or something. So it won't work out. Okay, so this is one important permission. And this is one other important permission, bulk API hard delete. So if I check this, then the user will be able to do bulk API hard delete operation, the hard delete operation using the data load. Okay. So if it is unchecked, we cannot do it. So by default, we are not checking it for every user because this is like complete data loss scenario. So we only give this permissions to so as a Salesforce administrator, we have to give this permission only to the person like who is authorized to do it. Yeah, for particular profiles. So these are the two very important permissions in administrative permissions. Okay. And then comes our session settings. Okay. So what do you mean by a session? All right. Session is nothing but it's a timeline. Like from the time I log in to the time I log out, it's my session, right? So we have, in Salesforce by default, we have given the session settings also. So where we can specify a limited amount of time where the person can get logged out. So suddenly, so I'm logged into my secure environment, let's say a banking system in my Salesforce, and I just got a phone call. So I went outside and I was speaking for an hour. Okay. So in that case, since it's a secure network, what we will do is the session settings. If it is inactive for 15 minutes, the system will get locked. Okay. So something like that. So we can do this system. So here, if you go, right here, you can see something, right? Session settings, right? Session times out after 2 hours of inactivity. So if it is mine is a banking system or some secure system, let's say 15 minutes. But in real time, so if we go ahead and take an example of an ATM machine, so the sessions timeout would be like around 15 seconds, 20, 30 seconds, something like that. Okay, so you have swiped your card and then you have entered your PIN and then suddenly you got a call. Okay, so within next 15 seconds, you will have to give the next input. Otherwise, the session will time, right? So that's how they are implemented. So based on the business requirement, uh, we will have to make use of this session settings also. Okay, so this we can do from here. And coming to password policies, so yes, we can make password expire every month or password expire uh, never expires. So we can also set that for the users on our Salesforce app. Okay, so this also we can do it. And remember how many passwords we can remember. I think it's around 24. Last 24 passwords it's going to remember Salesforce. So if you are using a password and recently and then using the same password, so Salesforce is not allowing you to change the password. And also we can specify the complexity requirement also, the password complexity, like the uppercase letter, lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. So something like that we can specify. How many invalid logins? So maximum, let's say 3 invalid logins, and then your account is going to get locked out, right? So this is how we can do the passwords policy settings also on the profile level. And then comes our Apex classes, Visual Force pages, external data sources, custom settings, custom metadata types. So all these settings we can do. Okay. So we have one other important thing called login hours and login IP ranges. So let me show that. So here, if you see, See, we can also define which record types to be used by the user. Okay, so record types is nothing but we can create different record types. Let's say sales record type, service record type. So based on that, the fields mentioned in that particular type of record, we can get the information from the user. So we can also create record types, and record types permissions are also given in the profile itself. So we can do that. Okay. So here, if you see login hours, login IP ranges, and Apex classes, also we can see Visual Force pages, external data sources, named credentials, custom metadata types, and flow access, so many things, right? So login hours, so if it is like, let's say ours is a banking system. So again, let's say I am a bank manager and I was on leave for last 2 days. So I want any loan application comes to my branch, it has to be signed by me or approved by me, let's say. Okay, so last 2 days I was not available. I was on leave and there was so much of pending work, let's say. So I thought like today I'm going to office and I thought I would go 2 hours early and then, do my work, finish off my pending work, right? So, but yes, even though I am a bank manager, if since bank network is a secured network, so we will be configuring the login hours. Okay, so login hours, if we configure 10 to 5, so if I go at 8 o'clock, so still I will not be able to access the system because the login hours starts from 10 o'clock. Okay, so we can configure the login hours also. So we can edit, click on edit and specify the hours on each day. And we can also specify, let's say banking again. Okay, so on Saturday, let's say 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it's a half day. And on regular basis, it's 10 a.m. to, let's say, 4 p.m. So on daily basis, it's like that. And on Sunday, I'm not specifying any hours, right? So this is going to be saved. Okay. So what about, let's say, the banking systems where we have holidays, right? So we have second Saturday and fourth Saturday as holiday for banks, right? So you can, the Salesforce administrator in the start of the year, he will be configuring the holidays also. Yeah, you can search holidays here and then you can configure the holidays. Okay. So new holiday, let's say second Saturday holiday, and I'm specifying. So for April month, what is the second Saturday? It's 8th. And we can specify from and to also. From what time to what time also we can specify, right? And then if it is a recurring holiday, we can specify that. Yes, second Saturday for every time it's the same. Second Saturday and fourth Saturday, we can configure a holiday. So you can have a question, what about holiday on festivals? Yes. So this festival holidays, it doesn't depend on the date. So it has to be manually entered, Salesforce administrator at the start of the year, he will configure all the holidays. But if the holidays are specific to date, let's say for India, August 15th, January 26th. So they can mark it as a holiday, saying Independence Day, Republic Day, May Day, okay, saying that way. And then they can mark it as a recurring holiday. So it will be the same for the years, okay? So this way we can also configure the holidays, okay? So we can configure the login hours, we can configure the holidays, we can configure login IP ranges. Okay. So if you see here, so we have something called login IP ranges. Right. So this I have did it because I want my data loader login without security token. Okay, so you can create your own IP ranges. Again, you will have to get this IP ranges from your network team, the network administrators, because they are going to configure your LAN, and based on the particular area or particular branch, you can do it. So if you say, if I configure for my branch, let's say Madhapur, so it's like 10.192.1.0 and for 100. So if I configure this and save it, so if I'm logging in only from this particular IP range, then it will be allowing me to log in. Okay. So if I, again, if you take an example of banking system, so I'm not feeling well, I wanted to do a work from home today as a bank manager, it's not possible. Okay. So since banking network is so much secure, so they won't allow you to work from any system. So they want you to work only from the particular network, the LAN, their secure virtual LAN or LAN which they are using at the branch. Okay, so he cannot do his work from home anyways. He has to come to office if he needs to work. Okay, even though he's a manager. Let's say, so here, this is for my one branch. Let's say I have another branch, I need to configure. Yes, you can do, you can save this, and again, you can create one more IP range. So that range, IP range addresses are also allowed. So it's in, let's say, Miapur. So Madhapur, my branch, this is the address, and Miapur, I have some other address. So I can log in from any branch also, right? So based on my requirement. So that we can do. All right. So let's go with, so login hours we can specify, and it's applicable to all the users. Um, so here, let's say login IP ranges I have specified. Okay. So, and I have specified the login hours also. Let's say 10 to 5, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So when I specify 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., so 10 a.m. I logged in, and then 11:30 I went for a break, tea break, and 11:45 again I logged in. 1 o'clock I went for a lunch break, 1:30 I logged in, 4 o'clock snacks breaks, and 4:20 I logged in. Yeah. Then what happens? So I started working at, I came back at 4:45, let's see, and 5 o'clock is my login hours complete, right? So what happens? So I am doing something on my system at 4:45 still, and it's going to be 5. So what will happen? Okay. So the system, it will allow you to continue to work, but as soon as the 5 p.m. time is, you know, occurred, then the system will go into a read-only state. So it won't allow you to do any DML operations like insertion, update, or create. So anything, any DML operations, it's not going to allow after 5 p.m. So it's going to go into the read-only state. After 5 p.m. also you can work, but the system will be in the read-only state, or all your transactions, you cannot do the DML transaction. And at 5:45 you want to log out. Yes, you logged out. And after 10 minutes you forgot something and you want to log in again. No, it won't allow you to log in. Okay. So since your session has been continuing, yes, it will continue until you log out, but the problem is uh, it won't allow you to perform the any kind of DML operations. Yeah, that's where our banking systems usually, let's say, even though their closing time is still 5 p.m., they will put the login, their login hours as 10 to 4, something like that. See, after 4 o'clock, the system goes to read-only state, and they don't perform any transactions, but yeah, they can do their administrative work, like how many customers has visited. So those kind of reporting work and administrative work, they do it during 4 to 5, right? So transactions will not be allowed. So you go after 4 p.m., let's say, you go and ask them, request them in whatever way. but they won't allow you because the system won't allow you to do the transactions, right? So this is what happens in the real case. So let's go to the next topic, right? Permission sets. So we have been, waiting on this particular topic. So our scenario is something like this. So I have the team leader and team member 1, team member 2, and 3. Okay. So what happened is I have, let's go ahead and show you. Let me go ahead and show you the org. So what I'm doing is, so for now, I didn't assign the TL profile to the team lead, other users, but I wanted to, so team member 1, okay, under platform license, we didn't create, right? So I will assign TL profile only for this particular team member 1 also, team member 2 also, and team member 3 also, let's say. So all these people are like, let's go to a paint. Okay, so let's say team member 1, 2, and 3, and the TL is also here. So I have created a profile. So I have created a profile and I have like 4 licenses, and I have assigned it to all the licenses. I have assigned it to all 4 of them, and the same profile I have assigned it to uh, this all the people. Yeah. The point for you to take away is one profile can be assigned to multiple users. Okay. But one user cannot have multiple profiles. So that's a point, takeaway point for you. So I have assigned this particular profile to all the users. So my team leader user, so here I have given, let's say for account record, I have given only read and edit permissions. So read, create, and edit permissions. So I have given read, create, and edit permissions for my account record for this, all the 3 people. Okay, so this is team member 1, 2, and 3, and for them I have given. But for the team leader, I want the delete permission also for him, let's say. So in that case, how do I do? It's the same profile which I have created, the TL profile. Okay, so the TL profile I have created, right? So this TL profile only I have assigned to all the people. But now what I want in that profile, I have given for the account object, I have given read, create, and edit permissions for all of, for this profile, let's say. Okay. And that's how it is. The same permission is applicable for all the 4 users. Okay. Now my scenario is like, I want a delete operation to be access to be given to my team leader user. Okay, so how can we do it, right? So there comes a scenario called permission set. Okay, so there comes a scenario called permission set, which is used to extend the permissions on the profile, on top of the profile. So profile, we have this basic permissions for all the users. And I just want only this one user to have a delete permission. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and create a permission set. So permission set is nothing but it's similar to profile, but it is going to extend permissions from the profile. Like it is going to give additional permissions which are required apart from the profile permissions already available. So right, in that case, we can go ahead and create a permission set. And then in this permission set, I'm going to give the delete operation permission for the user. And then this permission set, I'm going to assign to this particular user, right? So for a single user, what is the association between the user and the profile? One user should have one profile, okay? And one profile can be assigned to multiple users, right? So this is the association. So when it comes to permission set, it is one permission set can be assigned to multiple users, and one user can have multiple permission sets also, right? Okay. So this user can have more, not only this permission set, he can have more permission sets also. That means the user to the permission set, what is the relation? Can you recall? So now from permission set to user, it's many to one. And from user to permission set, many to one. So what does this relation is called? Can you recall? Anyone?
Parent and children. Is it parent and children?
No, no. No. Yeah, associations we have discussed, right? One to many to one, many to many, one to one, right? So here permission set to user, we have many to one, and user to permission set, we have many to one. So many to one and many to many relationship, right? So in order to achieve the many to many relationship, what is needed? Can anyone recall? Anyone? No? All right. So to achieve many to many relationship between two objects, we need to have an object called junction object, right? So we have discussed that. So junction object will be creating, so from permission set to user, many to one, from user to permission set, many to one. So that means many to many relationship. That means we need to have a junction object here. So this, let's say this is a user object, this is permission set, and we have a standard junction object between these two standard objects, that is permission set assignment. So that is the standard object, so which creates many to many relationship between permission set and the user. Okay, so permission set assignment. So that's the junction object we have. It's a standard junction object. Again, we have multiple standard junction objects, which we have already discussed. I would ask you to go through the previous classes. Okay, right. So now you may ask, so permission set will have everything which is in the profile except two things, that is login hours and login IP ranges. Those two steps are not available in the permission set. So we cannot extend login hours permission for a user specifically using permission set. We cannot do that. Okay, so login hours and login IP ranges, these two are not available for permission set, but everything other than that, which are available in the profile, are available in the permission set. Okay, so if we want to extend any permission, so we are going to make use of the permission set and create a permission set assigned to the user. So based on, so if the profile is having all the default permissions and I need the manager user to have some extra permissions, you can create a permission set and extend the permissions on top of your profile. Okay, so profile is going to give the permissions and permission set is going to extend the permission. So it's not going to restrict, it is going to extend. So this is also one important point. Why is the permission set used? Okay, that's one thing. And everything in the profile, we can do it in the permission set also, but just to, accept those two things, login hours and login IP ranges. Right. So, yeah. So let's come Yeah, okay. I need to show you how we are going to configure the permission sets. Go to our org. So if you search for permission sets, yes, you can find this. Click on permission sets. Okay. So these are all the permission sets which are already available by the system. If you want to create a new permission set, you can click on new, give the name for that permission set. Test permission set, give the restriction description, session activation required, not, I'm not checking that. And the license, give some license, let's say, and save it. And you can give the permissions whatever are required in this particular permission set. Okay. So similar to profile, all the permissions are available except login IP ranges and login hours. Okay. So if you want to go to restrict, so here, what we want, object level permission, right? Set, right? Object settings. So you can go here on our account object. We want to give the delete option operation, delete operation for this particular, in this particular permission set. And then after that, you can assign. So by clicking on this manage assignments, you can assign this to a particular user. Okay. So this permission sets are going to, extend the permissions, level of permissions, or elevate the level of access based on the permissions given in the permissions, right? So that's all about the permission sets. So if somebody asks you, explain in any kind of interviews, explain the user security concepts in in Salesforce, you can go ahead and explain this way. So, right, system level, application level, object level, field level, and record level. So system level, it's login IP ranges and login hours. So application level, profiles and permission sets we can do. And object level, again, profiles and permission sets. Field level, profiles and permission sets. Record level, we have OWD, role hierarchy, manual sharing, sharing rules, Apex sharing, and profiles. So all this, right? So you can explain this, maybe this diagram, you can keep it in mind, and based on the questions, you can explain. Okay. So that you can do. And what else? So how to create a permission set? You can create one. So I showed you how to do it. You can create one and extend the permissions on top of the permissions which are available on the profile. Okay. So let's say, let's take an example as let, so let's say my object account, I have permission like, so my OWD is declared as private. Okay. And my permission, sorry, profile has permissions, read, write, edit, delete also. So what's going to happen in this case on my account object? Can anyone answer? So my OWD is set as private, and my permission sets, I have option to do everything: read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify all the permissions are available for on my account object. So what's going to happen? So in that case, so I wanted to make you note of this point. So OWD level setting permissions, which and the permissions which we have given on the profile. So the permissions which are given on the profile level are going to be preceded. Okay, so means some settings which we made in OWD, but we in profile we have extended that permission. So the system is going to be taking profile as the main thing. Okay, because that's an extended permission. And when it comes to profiles and permission sets, so some permissions we have given in profile and some other permissions we have given in permission sets. So system is going to take the final permissions from the permission sets. So that means in addition to the level of access which we have given in the profile, we have additional access on the permission sets. The final level is going to be the permission sets, right? When it comes to OWD and profiles, it's the profile. So on the profile, whatever permissions you give, that's going to be affected. Okay, so that's the order or level of precedence given on um, permissions in terms of security in Salesforce. Okay, so yeah, this is all about profiles and permission sets. Okay. Yeah, we can discuss more, and I have few other topics for tomorrow. So for day after tomorrow, let's have a Q&A session. So any questions, doubts, queries, whatever you have, you can make a list of it. Okay. And then you can ask me, probably we can have a small explanation on each of your doubt so that it clears your topic, it clears you. Okay, so all the topics till now which we have completed, go through them and let me know if you have any questions. So day after tomorrow session, let's have a Q&A session kind of session. And tomorrow I have few topics to be completed, and from Monday later we will be starting our development classes. Okay. Right. All right. That is all for today's class. Thank you. Have a good day.